Hey everybody. So, for this weekend's podcast, I was thinking just kind of changing a bit. I think we've been talking a lot of about existential stuff, about the market and trading in general and everything. So, whether or not it's got into you, doesn't really matter to me. But this is kind of interesting because Mr. Topstep, which is, Gavin's nemesis if you like. He's a very well-known permeable buy-side kind of guy. He tells everybody that he is a 40-something year veteran from the pits, blah 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 blah. So, and I mean, it's true. I mean, he's not making that up. He used to be at the CME and blah blah blah. I'm sure he's a millionaire and everything. So I'm not one of those guys who got blocked. I know he blocked Gavin because I don't know what kind of trade spat they had. But point that I'm trying to make on this is this story, whether you guys believe it or not, again, it's not coming from me. This is his Twitter account. You can even go and look so that you don't think that I'm making any of this crap up. Um, so somebody emailed him talking about how he lost so much money, blah blah blah. He's a successful millionaire, blah 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 blah, and he lost a lot of money. So he's trying to get some advice from Mr. Topstep. So whether you believe his story or not doesn't matter to me, but this problem is very common. Okay, and I remember this because it's literally almost the same as every person who comes to Equity Sense asking for help, maybe getting trained. 4 years ago, I had a guy who owned his trucking company. Okay, and I'm not going to mention his name. And he was with Smarter Trader at the time, so I think Sam or whatever his name is, the Smarter Trader guy, and he started out with $160,000 in his trading account. And then that dropped to about 90,000. I think it was at 50,000 when he started saying, "Hey guys, I followed Gavin or whatever, and I need help." So when I was teaching him, I told him, you need to stop trading first because you need to learn this whole thing, right? And of course, what does he do? He doesn't listen. He trades anyway, right? So for me, for me, as an instructor, I don't have any control over my students. This is not communist China where if a student misbehaves, I have the right to punch them in the face or let them face the wall or let them face the sun for half an hour. So we don't have that, right? So you know you would expect as an adult teaching another adult that they would be an adult, right? Behave properly. Unfortunately, people are people. All right. So what happens? Again, he had some really good success. After even if, as I told him to stop trading while we're teaching, while we're going through the class, he still kept trading anyway. So he got some success. So he finished the class and everything. He was on his way. So he was making some of the money back. For whatever reason, he basically regressed to his old habits and started losing money again. So clearly, it's not a teaching thing, it's more a personality thing, right? His risk management, no matter how we taught him. So the funny part about that is that when I was supervising his trades, everything was fine because he had that pressure, right? He had that person looking over his back, right? Looking over his shoulders. I mean, so that's basically what's there. But when he's left alone to his own devices, he regresses back to his old bad habits. And and why am I even talking to you about this? Because again, all of us have this problem. All of us can be taught the system, right? Like I could show you an MA cross system, like an MACD cross system, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, you sure you short when the five goes below the whatever, and then you go long when the five goes above the whatever." Sure, everybody can do that. Everybody can follow things step by step, but nobody has that mental strength to say, you know what, this morning this is so effed up. I have no idea what's going on. I probably should just go back to bed. Nobody has that strength. Probably one or two or three people probably listening to this podcast will probably have that, right? And because we run a service, like we run I guess you could say well, it is chat room really, chat room environment, right? Where I call out my own trades and everyone else calls out their own trades. There are days, I think it was one day, sometime I think in the last several weeks, that I said, you know what? It's too effed up this morning. I'm not trading. And it is what it is. Sure, some people were pissed off. Some people were unhappy because they were looking forward to, me trading. But that's the thing. Sometimes the best trades are the ones that you don't trade. And that's the thing. I may have missed making $1,000 or $2,000 that day, but look at Friday, right? December 7th. We had an OPEC day. We had a jobs number day. So between oil and S&P, it was just fantastic. Making more than 20 grand in a day. So I missed 1,000 or 2,000, even you could say 5,000 in one day, but I made it up on another day, right? So that's the thing with trading, right? And that's something you can never really internalize from reading a book. If you ever read like Market Wizards by Jack Schwager, whatever. I haven't read that book. It doesn't really matter. But I think the one book that I always recommend to everybody, it doesn't matter if you're a client or not, is Mark Douglas's book, right? The Disciplined Trader. No matter what. And if you're gonna be like, no, Mark Douglas is an idiot. No, he's not. You're an idiot. It's really that simple, right? Mark Douglas is a very well respected guy across Wall Street. So if somebody tells you that Mark Douglas is an idiot, they are the idiots, not Mark Douglas. Alright? So Mark Douglas talks about discipline, and that's what all of us have problems with. I still grapple with it. I've been trading for more than 12 years now, 13 years going. Doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I still get tempted to jump in on trades when I shouldn't. Sometimes I get out profitably through luck. Sometimes I get raped, and when I review my trades, I'm like, yeah, that was my fault anyway. I mean, I jumped in when I shouldn't have. Really, there was no clear setup for that short or that long, but I jumped in anyway because I had the FOMO. All of us have that. We're all only human, right? We're all tempted, right? I mean, for me, I'm a married guy. If a naked Playboy model shows up in my room, obviously I'd be like, oh my goodness, this is interesting. Doesn't mean I'll treat my wife, but my point is, you are going to be tempted. Everything is always on a constant state of, flux and craziness. So, we're going back to what's going on, right? So this guy, like I said, so if we continue to read this, if you haven't already read what he's saying, he's talking about whether he needs to look at technicals, whether he needs to look at what's going on, how to connect everything. So, I mean, I hope Mr. Topstep will figure that out. I'm not Gavin, so I'm not going to make fun of Mr. Topstep. What you need to know about Danny Riley, which is Mr. Topstep, is he's a permabull. So, and this again, you can scroll through his Twitter feed. He admits it openly. I think it was on Tuesday or Monday. He lost a lot of money because he was thinking the market was going to bounce. This guy, his weakness is market sell-offs. That's just how he is. That's just, in this business, you either are a sell side guy or a buy side guy. Very rarely can you get people who can do both. It's literally like you're either a straight guy or a gay guy. Very rarely do you ever meet bisexual people, right? It's very weird and difficult. And I'm not, again, before anybody starts saying I'm being a homophobe or being an LGBTQ hater, I'm not, right? I'm just literally giving you a clear analogy, right? You either want this or you want that. It's very rare to do both, okay? I'd say for me, I've been a very balanced person, so I try to do my best to trade both ways. Because again, it's a very, very sort of simple situation, right? So it's all about balance, like I said. And the clients who are with us know this. The last few days we were short oil, and then even on Friday when they made a decision, I was long oil at the 52, went all the way to 53-ish. So I'm a very, very, I try to be as agile as possible when it comes to trading. Okay, I don't try to subscribe to one mental sort of ideology, right? Again, there is nothing wrong with being a buy side only guy or a sell side only guy. You just have to find the ones that make sense to you, right? So for example, if you're a buy side guy and the market's crashing, what are you going to buy? You don't have a choice. You got to buy the VIX. It's just what it is. Or buy the puts. You're still buying, so you still have that mental gratification that you are buying, right? And if you're a sell side guy and the market is selling, well, obviously crashing, you're gonna have a lot of fun. But if you're a sell side guy and the market is rallying, what are you gonna do? Obviously, you're gonna short puts or short the VIX, right? Either way, there's always something for everybody. It's all about agility and adaptability when it comes to trading. So, again, reading what this guy is talking about, right? What is the big picture to most losers you've met? So, So the first thing here is, why did he allow himself to lose 250,000 first, and then another 250 after? I mean, I'm not a very rich person, right? I have some money, but I'm not very rich. But the funny part is that, because if you guys already know, I'm Asian, so for me, losing $50 already hurts me. I just want to be clear. I'm that cheap. All right? So it's just, for me, it doesn't make sense to me that a millionaire like this guy, okay, lost 250K. That's already one guy's condo. All right? That's one guy from Miami's condo. Why would he allow himself to repeat that? Why would he not reach out, ask help, right? He could have flown to New York. He could afford it because he's a millionaire. Flown to New York, go to SMB, go to Lightspeed, go to whoever teaches proper trading there, right? Or could go, I'm pretty sure, Online Trading Academy, even though I don't recommend these things, by the way, but I'm just saying there's a lot of, very popular trading academies, if you like, out there that he could subscribe to or pay to get help, and yet he did not. So it just boggles my mind that he wouldn't go for that and get some help, right? So I'm not gonna answer his questions. Obviously, that's Mr. Top Step's problem. I'm not gonna start teaching people for free on YouTube either. But trading in general, it's all about finding what makes sense to you, right? I've got students before who just want to focus on one thing and they're happy with that. There's people, it's really just depends on what you trade. It really is. I got one guy who only trades oil and he's happy with it. He doesn't care about anything else. He doesn't care if the US government is about to implode. He doesn't care, right? So it really just depends on what you're passionate about, right? And risk management is so important. So if you have, and that's one thing I could probably leave with you guys. Every single day, I tell this to my students because I do this myself. I have a maximum loss limit. I always tell new students 500 should be your loss limit, your maximum loss limit for per day, not per trade, but per day. Okay. So if you reach that, stop what you're doing, go out, I don't know, buy something, or just go to the gym or something, right? So for me, it's kind of ballooned above. It's about 5,000 for me now, but still, point being, you got to have a maximum loss limit to stop you from trading, because you can always come back another day, right? Stop today so you can live another day. That's always been the whole thing, right? And this gig, right, is a very, very, very atypical gig. It's not natural. It's very crazy. You get headlines after headlines after headlines, and that's just what it is. Those of you who swear by your technicals, I'm not gonna start an argument with people who are technically driven. I'm just not. If it's working for you and it's been profitable for you, I'm happy for you. But if you are watching this and you're only trading technically and you're getting raped, you need help. All right? And it's important you need help. I don't care if you are going to contact us or someone else. This video is not meant to be an advertisement for our services. Podcasts that we post on YouTube are never are. So, point is, the market isn't just driven by technicals. There was a lot of talk about quants and leverage levels and all that stuff this week. That's, again, one of those things, right? So those aren't technicals for sure. Those are all margin call, margin driven leverage stuff. So all of that stuff, again, it's a crazy thing. And if you guys lost a lot of money in the last few months, or even this year, if you've blown up your account, I have bad news for you. Until Trump figures out China, it's still going to be up in the air, right? The market that you saw in 2017 is not coming back until China and the US resolve their spat. And we have 90 days, meaning 3 months. So from now until March 1st, you're going to have to deal with this volatility. And if you don't have a very solid system, a very good risk management system, you're going to blow up your second account. Maybe you'll get your bonus, your Christmas bonus, and you're going to put it in your trading account and you're going to try to trade again. You're going to get raped again. It's almost guaranteed already that you're going to get raped, especially if your system isn't working. Okay? And, don't take this the wrong way. Don't think that we're being extremely, cocky. This is one of our best years. And I mean, I'm not saying that because I'm a sell side guy, because I'm not. Last year was a really good year. I told every client last year, Nope, we don't have a choice. We gotta buy the dip because it's just gonna keep going up, and everything went up, right? So everybody was happy. So this year was just like, oh well, I guess we're gonna have to keep shorting, and here we go, right? So it's a crazy, crazy thing, right? And it's been one of the best years we've ever had in terms of trading because the volatility is what we really thrive on. One of the new guys that signed up in October, he was pretty happy because in that 1 month he saw a really huge spike in his profits. He used to just make maybe 3 or 4 grand. He made about 26 grand that month. Of course, we had alerts and stuff, but point being is that you can benefit from having a really good system, right? So people who have really good management system really can help. And I think for the golfers among you who actually listen to these things, you know what I'm talking about. I'm a golfer. If you have a bad day, your game is going to be horrible. You're going to be doing hooks and slices, and your short game is going to be just awful, right? You need to have a cool mind going into the course, and it's the same idea with trading. You really, you gotta table all those stupid things away and focus on what's important, what's in front of you, and trade as best as you can. And if you can't, then there you go, right? Bad things are gonna happen. So, you know, if there's anything you can take away from my unusually long podcast is that the people there are so many people who lost a lot of money this year. Okay, and there's a reason why we went from having 312, 350 people at Equity Sense, by March or April, to now 600 something people, right? There is a reason for that because people, whatever their system was, isn't working. They were always used to buying the dip, and now suddenly the Fed isn't coming to their aid. But again, you guys have been warned. If you look at 22 months out, right? The FOMC said we are normalizing. So I don't know why people thought about, oh, it's not going to matter. Of course it's going to matter, right? It's literally somebody telling you at the bar, hi, like a girl, coming up to you at the bar and say, hey, hi, I have herpes. If we have sex, there's a chance I might give it to you. Maybe it might not transmit because I'm not having a breakout, but I got herpes, right? So you're thinking, whatever, right? And you go on, right? And and then you wonder, yeah, we've had sex 6 times. I still don't have herpes. Great. And then the ninth time you have sex with her, you suddenly have a cold sore, right? Then there you go. That's my point, right? So it feels like, and I'm not trying to use sexual analogies here. Normally I don't, but it seems to be the only effective thing to kind of get people to relate to what's going on. So whatever system you have, right? So, because we're almost at the end of 2018 and all of people have this sort of feeling that new year, new you, renew, reinvigorate, blah blah blah, all that crap. You can probably introspect. You got, basically 22 days left of 2018. Introspect, really think, what am I doing wrong with my trading? What am I, what am I effing up? And how can I get help? So you can think of it this way: if I'm cheap, I don't want to pay somebody. So don't, yeah, obviously go buy a book or whatever. I don't care. But if you need help, go get help. It could be from Danny Riley, Mr. Topstep. He might help you. I don't know, or somebody, right? Like I said. So point being is that when you need help, get help. Don't let your ego, your pride get in the way because when your bank account is dying, it's not going to be fun. It really won't be fun, guys. It's this guy has lost $500,000 and he said he's lost his house, so and all that stuff. So he has a Porsche, all that crap, and then so he's lost a lot. Like I said, as he said there, he's lost a lot of stuff. So he's lost everything, as he keeps saying anyway. So um, like I said, you just have to be very, very careful. I don't want you guys to get raped. This whole thing, whatever you saw in 2018, is not gonna go away in 2019. Especially because China is still all over the place, right? So until then, you don't have a choice. So if you want to really make a go at this and really want to be a successful trader, you gotta keep working at it. You really have to keep working at it. Get help where you need to get help. If you need a mentor, get a mentor, right? Again, not advertising our services. You need to get a mentor, right? If you don't like us, okay, sure, move on. I don't care. So it's just one of those things. right? It's very, very, very important that you figure out a good system. Make sure it works. If you're sitting there and you're thinking, "Holy crap, this guy is really bang on what he's saying, that my system has been really killing me this year," then you need help, right? Make sure you make the right decision with respect to your trading account, because guys, it's easy to lose money. It's hard to make money, whether it's on trading or on the real world. It's even harder in the real world. You gotta work your ass off to make money, right? So, um, not a very cheerful podcast, unfortunately, but you get my point. I want to really get this point across to you, all of you who do listen to these things, because it's not it's a very recurring theme this year. So many people have blown up. Professionals have been blown up. Even well, amateurs for sure, but professionals are also being blown up. Very crazy situation out there right now. Okay, so I wish you guys well. I hope you're well. I hope whatever funk you're in, I hope you get out of it and become happy and profitable again. Again, I'm not a jerk. I always don't. I always want to see people happy. I don't want to see people suffer. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and until the next podcast. Bye for now.